Hey folks, thanks so very much for helping me test out Apex Dynamics. If you're getting this, you're part of a small early group of users that's volunteered to help me refine and debug the app, and I'm really grateful. If you have any questions, run into bugs, have ideas for improvements, just email me at any time at apexdynamics.app@gmail.com. As a reminder, Apex Dynamics is a braking telemetry app. It's intended for track drivers, performance drivers, captures your car's acceleration, braking, and cornering forces and allows you to compare different visits to the same corners so you can improve your consistency, work on trail braking, and overall grip usage. The purpose of this video is to kind of walk through first setup, talk about some of the features of the app, how to record a session, how to analyze the data. So you should receive an invitation with an email link to download the beta app. When you launch it, it's going to ask for GPS permission. Please allow that since the GPS is required to match the G-force data to specific corners. You then be prompted to calibrate the accelerometers. Calibration helps the app understand how your phone is mounted so it can correctly interpret forward braking and cornering Gs. You want to mount your phone securely in the orientation you'll be using to driving. While driving, if the phone vibrates, it'll decrease the accuracy of the app, so a decent phone holder is a good investment. Find a straight, safe patch of road or paddock, press calibration. You can just accelerate smoothly. You don't have to pound it in a straight line for 3-4 seconds. And it should show calibrated, so then press use calibration. You only need to recalibrate it again if you change how the phone is mounted. So after calibration, you should jump to the dynamic G-force map. That's the real-time G-force meter, and you should see a dot that's showing your current G-force and a fading trail that shows the last few seconds of movement. The wedges will kind of indicate whether you're cornering, accelerating, or trail braking. And there'll be an auto scale, which should control the G-force range, or if you want, you can jump to a fixed scale. That's kind of a useful app for driving or testing braking zones. You should try driving around and making sure the app is calibrated correctly. The real value in the app is the ability to analyze your data corner by corner. In order to do this, the app needs you to define a track so it knows where the corner's apexes are located. There's two ways currently to build a track. One is you can enter those coordinates manually. I use Google Earth Pro. Drop a pin near the apex and then type the decimal degree coordinates into the app. Alternately, you can do it by driving and teaching the corners on site. You would just stop the car at the apex, tap record. Obviously, don't do that on a live racetrack, but either one of those methods will work to create a racetrack. Once that's saved, it's ready for use to record telemetry. To record, you go back to the G-force map. If you want to record corners in a track, you select that track, press record, start driving. And when you're finished, press stop and give it a name. And at that point, you can go analyze the events to see the list of your recorded sessions. Once you choose an event, you can select which corners you want to review. That allows you to compare multiple visits to the same corner. You also have the ability to adjust the apex window to show more or less time before and after the apex. So a long approach, you might want to take a look at more data before the apex, or if you've got an exit you're worried about, you want to take a look afterwards. You can also use the replay slider to step through the data. And in addition to the G-force map, you can switch to a G versus time plot. It does much of the same things, but you can look at it in kind of a G-forces versus time. Once again, take a look at the braking zones, trail braking, quarter entry, throttle pickup, and that might be a good approach. The raw accelerometer data can be pretty noisy, so the app uses a couple of smoothing algorithms to make it easier to read. You can adjust the smoothing on the analysis screens, and you can see that light smoothing will keep the detail but can be kind of jittery or choppy. The heavy smoothing gives you cleaner lines, but it might trim some of the peaks. You can also export your data, all of the data from the drive as a CSV file. I've tried to give you everything that you would possibly want to help some offline analysis, including not just the smooth Gs, but the raw lateral and longitudinal G-force if you want to try your own smoothing algorithms. Also tells you where the intervals are that have the apex alignment. That should give you everything you need if you want to dive in with Excel or Python or MATLAB or something like that. A couple of useful options in settings might be worth talking about briefly. You can adjust the trail brake threshold, which just determines when the segment illuminates on the G map so that you don't get a lot of jittering on the trail brake. The tire grip limit can be an interesting feature. That shows a circle that represents the maximum combined Gs your car can generate. It can be useful for understanding whether you're close to the limit. So if you've got ABS on your car, you can hammer it around stop and figure out what the maximum Gs you can hold on your car are, set that limit to there, and it'll show that circle then on your G-force map, generally about 1 or so G's for a typical race car, at least in the series I race in. Yeah, your objective as you're learning to trail brake is to keep the as close as you can to the outside of that circle, so you're maximizing the grip on your car. You can also control the G-force trail window, which controls how long the dots persist before fading. Corner capture radius is how close the car has to pass to an apex before it registers as a corner visit. And then we talked about the smoothing algorithms, which talks about the different approaches, and that sets what will be used in the CSV export. That should hopefully be enough to get you oriented and ready to explore the app. If anything's confusing, you have any feature ideas, or you're struggling with it, please email me. I'll try to get back as soon as possible at apexdynamics@app.gmail.com. Thank you once again for helping me test and refine it. I really appreciate the time and the feedback, and I really hope the app helps you out and helps you understand your braking and cornering in a new way. Take care.